Yep. So tonight, look, here's the thing. This is a Saturday night. All right. It's a Saturday night. People are out probably doing, whatever, partying, um, all that great stuff, and that's a good thing. It's good. It's cool. It's cool. But I wanted to come on here tonight with a message to let's see, we're gonna have to get with get that message later. But listen, I wanted to hop on here tonight with the message because it's on my spirit. So I have to share it because it's on my spirit. And I just did a Facebook live, and I actually should have streamed so that it could just be one time on both of my platforms, but it is what it is, right? But here's the thing. Your vibe attracts your tribe, okay? Your vibe attracts your tribe, and there's a lot of things that we say, you know, we say them. So much is being said, but there's not a lot being done. And it reminds me of that scripture. Well, it's a few, as a matter of fact. Be a doer of the word and not a hearer only, deceiving your own selves. And also that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. Right? What does that mean? The harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few means that it's like it's a lot out here for the taking, but there's not many out here that's willing to do the work. Labor is work. There's many, it's not a lot that's out here that's willing to do the work. And then being a doer of the word, but not a hearer only, deceiving your own selves. Lot of talking, lot of talking, but no action, or the proper action, or the right action is not being taken, is not being done, right? So then the few that are taking action and doing the work, well, shoot, it's like, man, there's a lot out here. I guess ain't nobody else coming to get it. I don't want it to go to waste, so I'll take it all, right? And then we'll turn around and say that those people are greedy. I hear that a lot about the wealthy people, that because they have a lot, that they don't need all of that. They don't need all of that. They don't need that much, and just all of these things. They're arrogant or this or that, and they don't need that. And it's like, well, first of all, we're not. Right? First of all, and you notice how I said we, okay? Because I'm in that number, right? First of all, we're not arrogant. There's a fine line, and I don't even want to say it's a fine line, but there's a difference between arrogance and confidence, right? Um, and then the other thing is that I'm giving an example. I don't know how many times there's this. Listen, let me get, let me give you an example of something. Okay, so I would go to this food pantry. Okay, a food pantry where you go get free food, and this particular pantry gets food from Aldi and Whole Foods, and I think sometimes Trader Joe. Okay, Aldi's, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's. They might get them from another, place too, but I go there um because it was for my daughter. And so I go there so I know what the brands are. I'm like, yeah, this came from this. So anyway, I'm looking and I'm like, yo, this pantry got this pantry has this, mind you, Aldi, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's. And so the people who can, come go to that pantry, they go to that pantry and they get whatever it is that they get. But here it is, all of these healthy food choices there. Mind you, Aldi, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's. So the reason why these stores have to give food to the food pantries is because they they have a certain time to have it in their stores. And if people don't purchase it, not like by the expiration date, they have to get rid of it before the expiration date. So then they send them to these food pantries. And then so the food pantries have the food. And then, of course, they have to move it before the expiration date. So when the expiration date comes, they actually have to throw it away. So that's why you have a lot of these other countries that's like, oh, Americans are just wasteful and everything, right? Because we throw away good stuff because nobody's getting it. So let me rewind back. So here it is. I'm at this food pantry getting this food, and I'm knowing like this right here, let's say salmon. This salmon right here, that's like $20. Okay, the thing is still on it. This salmon is $20, right? It's seasoned and everything. I'm knowing what it's going for at the store. They have it, and the people that come to this pantry can get it for free, like no cost. And then they still don't even get it. But it's more so because of people not being programmed in their minds for healthier food choices. So here it is. I'm in there like this is freaking heaven. Because we eat fairly healthy. You know what I'm saying? We do salmon and the fresh fruits and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. So I walk in this place and there's like an abundance of healthy food choices that I can just take out of there for free that people are leaving behind for free. And the reason why even that pantry has it is because if it's at the grocery store, people either can't afford it or don't want it because it's a healthy food choice. So I'm in there. I don't want it to go to waste. So I'm like, how many of these can I take? The man, he's like, as many of them as you want. I mean, if you don't take them, we have to throw it in the garbage. Man, I come home with boxes. Okay? Boxes of healthy food choices that I'm knowing if I bought all of that stuff, it'd be thousands of dollars. Thousands. Okay? I bring it home in boxes. I got a big old deep freezer. And I put that stuff in my deep freezer, all in the pantry, like everything. I be calling people, look, what do you need? I got all this food. Do you need it's fresh fruits, vegetables, parsley, limes, lemons, apples, oranges. I mean, I don't want to throw it in the garbage. Right? Now, this is what people do in life. In life, they do this. And because the people that actually show up, and they're the ones that's there, and it's like nobody else is here getting all of this abundance. Take as much as you want because we don't want it to go to waste. And then people will say folks is greedy. You're not there. You're not there. You haven't done the work to get there. You do not put yourself in the rooms. So when the people that do the work to get there, they seek, what does the scripture say? Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open unto you. For whosoever, didn't say if you got a degree, if you white, if you black, if you male or female, it said whosoever. For whosoever asks shall receive. Whosoever seeks shall find. Whosoever knocks, it shall be open. So ask, knock, put yourself in the room. But the work that must be done is that you got to cut through all of the crap. You have to cut through all of the BS. You have to get away from certain things. You have to get away from certain people. You have to get away from certain environments. You have to get away. Because it's true that your vibe does attract your tribe. So what environment are you in? You was attracted to it. But if it's one that you don't want to be in anymore, if you don't like it or whatever, it's time to go. It's time to get out. Period. Do you know it's certain stores, gas stations, and everything that I won't even go to. We talking about environments. Environment is everything. Environment. There was I want you to look him up. His name is Bruce Lipton. He's a biologist. And he's in the energy psychology and everything now. But he wrote a book called Biology of Belief. And he talks about how, he took a tissue culture sample of tissue of muscle, like muscle tissue, and he had it in, it was 3, but because I just remember what happened with 2, I'm gonna just say 2 petri dishes. He had them in 2 petri dishes. Okay, the same tissue culture in 2 petri dishes, and when he came back to it, one had formed muscle and the other had formed fat, right? And he was wondering, well, now this is what scientists do, okay? How did this same tissue, one is muscle and the other is fat? Well, scientists are observationists. They observe, right? So he observed what was going on, what's different, and what he observed was that the petri dish where the muscle turned, where the tissue culture turned into muscle, was in a healthier environment than the tissue culture that turned into fat. It wasn't in the greatest environment. So he said, whoa, it was the environment. And from that point, it just opened up to everything else, right? So when I saw it, it made perfect sense to me, because then I started thinking about us. I started thinking about our people. I started thinking about our neighborhoods. I started thinking about our homes. I started thinking about our schools. I started thinking about our places of worship and religious services. I started thinking about all these things and the environment. It made me even start thinking about Abraham, right? And if you've read the story of Abraham, not in the book of Genesis, but in the book of Jasher, it gives a more detailed account of what happened, of why Abraham left the environment that he was in order to go into this other place where that covenant was made between him and the creator. I'm going to say the name Yahweh, right? Where Yahweh told him, get away from your kindred, get away from what's familiar to you, and go into another land that you know not of, and I'm gonna bless you there. Well, the more detailed account was the reason why Yahweh told him to get out of that environment was because the environment was sick. What was it sick with? Idol worshiping. His own father he was a great craftsman, and he would make these idols, figurines or whatever, and he would make them and sell them, and then he made some to have in his house. And when he would make them, he would bring them in the house, and he would burn incense and pray to him and stuff like that. And Abraham was like, something not right about this. I just watched you make this, and then you brought it in the house and started praying to it and everything. Why? He like, these things are dead. And so, to even prove a point, he set them on fire, which actually ended up burning the house down. And he told his own father, he was like, listen, these dumb idols, if you set this place on fire, let's see if they save you. They didn't. Abraham set it on fire. And his father went and grabbed the things out the house and everything in order to, he was like, something not right about that. If that was a God, it should have saved you instead of you trying to save it. So in essence, Abraham was a bit of a rebel. Right? You know, that'd be one that's like rebellious. Okay? Because he challenged his own father in his belief system. What are you praying to these idols and stuff for? They can't do nothing for you. So then Abraham went alone and by himself out in nature and started wondering, I want to know who made the sun. I know what my father made with his hands didn't make it. Who made the sun? Who made the moon? Who made the trees? Who made the clouds? Who made the rivers? Who made the grass? Who made all of these things? Who made the stars? That's the wonderment of children. Children are that curious. That's the reason why Yahshua said, be as a child. Because children are curious. Children ask questions. Children want to know. So you got to become as a child again here, right? So that's what Abraham did. Well, his name was Abram at the time, but that's what Abram did. And when he started questioning within himself, I want to know who made all of this. And not only this, me. Who made my body, my hands, my. And that's when Yahweh spoke to him because he wanted to know him. Aren't you? Doesn't it really like intrigue you when somebody really want to know who you are? They want to know about you, right? Not what you have to give them, but who you are. Many people don't do that. And then there's a lot of people that when you do attempt to do that, they start getting suspicious. That shows you how people are not as intimate as they think they are. Intimacy is different from sex. Anybody can have sex. There ain't a lot of people that's intimate. Intimate is knowing who you are, right? So he wanted to have an intimate relationship with his creator because he asked questions. Somebody tell you don't question, ask questions. And in those questions that he asked, he started receiving answers. And there was a covenant made based on, first of all, get away from where you are. The environment is sick. Like you won't even be able to concentrate to hear who I am or anything like that. So get out of that environment. That's one. And I'm gonna tell you where to go. That's two. And three, what do you want? Because this is a two-way street. You know, I'm, you know, I'm going bless you over here. Like, what do you want? And Abraham, he was like, I mean, because he knew that his wealth was in him. He said, I don't have a son. I want a son. So as a matter of fact, you want a son, I'm gonna make you a father of many nations. Count the stars of heaven, count the sands of the sea. If you can count them, you'll be able to count your children. So you ask me for one thing, and I'm gonna give you a nation. Be fruitful and multiply. But you can't do that in environments that can no longer hold you or in a sick environment. You can't do it. So you got to get out of it so that you can attract your tribe. And I'm going to give you something to start with on how to do that. We have a new moon coming up. Okay? This will be dated, but as a matter of fact, I'm not going to even date it. We have a new moon coming up, right? And so I won't say exactly what date it is and all of that kind of stuff, but I'll say this. At a new moon, you want to plant. At a new moon, you want to write things down. You want to have that vision that was entrusted to you. If you lost it, go back and get it because that vision was entrusted to you. It's not yours. It was a vision that was entrusted to you because not only is it beneficial for you, it's beneficial for your family, your children, your children's children, but then also other people who are out here that are connected to that vision to where if you don't start the process of manifesting it, you will be held accountable and responsible for cutting off or damming in other people because you didn't move forward. Those people are waiting on you. That's part of your tribe, right? That's part of your tribe. So, at a new moon, you are writing down the vision, making it plain upon tables so that he who reads it, he or she or whatever, who reads it may run with it. You have to do that. And then every week after, like whatever that new moon is, like I want you to go to, it's called Time. Hold on, it's called Time something. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Timeanddate.com. Timeanddate.com will give you moon cycles. Okay, moon cycles. New moon, you plant on paper. Full moon, you release, you let go, or you bring in a harvest, right? And so this is a first step in manifestation. But you see what I shared about the story of Abraham. He had to let go of what was familiar to him. That was his family, y'all. That was his father's house. The Creator told him to get away from it. Get away from it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Get away from it. You got to grow. You got to go and you got to grow. Otherwise, you stunt your growth. You hinder it, and then you're sitting there. Years pass by. Now you're disgruntled, full of regret, bitter. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. So I just gave you some tips on how you can start manifesting, right? Get you a almanac. Have one every single year. Get an almanac, right? Because it'll have in here those new moon dates. Go to time, was a time and what was that? Time and date? Timeanddate.com. That easily pull up. And then have your composition book or journal or whatever, right? To where, look, I found this one. I thought it was really good, right? Daydreamer. Love it with my little rainbows and everything. But and I write I write down in here, and I've been doing this for years. And I can go back in journals and be like, oh, that happened. Boop, manifested that. Boop, manifested that. That manifested. That manifested. And it's still happening, still going, right? Still going. Not done. Where I am now, I attracted my tribe. There are so many things that, I was writing down and trying to do and everything, and didn't know or realize there was somebody else on the other side of the world, or whatever, that was building the very things that I was like, man, I gotta do this. I have to put this together. I was like, chill. I got somebody on that already. Okay. Then boom, rolled right into it. So I wanted to share that. That is it. If you felt that this was useful to you, make sure you share it with other people, right? Sharing is definitely caring. If you want to know more about, right, Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide, make sure you reach out. Look under the description, in the description box of this video, and you'll see the information there in order to contact me. Because listen, we are being our own bank. Okay, you might get some help every now and then, or whatever the case may be, but for what you really really need to do, and manifesting that vision and make it plain, right? The scriptures even say money answereth all things, right? Money answereth all things, and the blessings of Yahweh, it makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Okay, so our own bank, we are learning this skill set. You got people over here that's already, look, within a year or less, are six-figure earners. six-figure earners, seven-figure traders, all of that great jazz, right? Just we just cranking them out. Here's the thing. What do you need? We have things to build. We have schools to build. We have wellness centers to build. And you need money for that. You need money for it. Okay? And you might be able to get a little grant here, a little loan there, or whatever the case may be. But in a $7.3 trillion daily market, listen, what you need to do is learn the skill set in order to get what you need out of this market daily. I'm going to say it's about 7 billion people on the earth, man, woman, and child. So, you know what that is? That's $1,000 per day per person. Nobody on this earth should be starving. Yeah, we have some certain things or whatever that's kind of obstructing this or obstructing that or whatever the case may be. But listen, if you show up to learn, can't nobody stop you. Can't nobody stop you from learning. Only you can stop you. You are really, truly the only one that can stop you. Somebody can attempt to try to hinder you, but they can't stop you, especially if you don't allow it. So don't allow it, right? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. We're always told education is key. You need your education. Okay, it's a whole bunch of educated fools out here, right? Educated up to the wazoo, but don't know what they really need to know, right? We have a lot of people that's educated and financially illiterate. Why is financial literacy not taught in schools, but the very thing that we've been being told is to go to work? But we're going to work for money and then don't know about it? What's wrong? Something wrong with that. But with what we have now, with the internet and all this information that's just out here like that, it's time to be educated about money. It's time to be educated about this forex market. It's time to be educated about how to what? Get what you need out of the market. You can get in this market and get as much as you want, really, to be honest with you, and won't nobody know your name, right? You don't have to be famous and oh, because so much and such is a net of this and that. There be some wealthy people standing right next to you. You don't even know that they make 7 figures a month or so. Because trading can do that for you. But you have to put the work in, right? And it's not hard work. The work is just showing up. The work is just believing that is possible for you, because it is. That's really the work. The work is cutting through all of the self-doubt and fear and mental fog and whatever it is. And once you get past all of that, next thing you know, it seemed like it happened overnight. It was always possible. You just had to believe it. You just had to cut through all of the crap in order to get to that point. That's all. So I'm out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, right? Click the bell for notifications for all new video updates. I will be streaming live a lot more than usual, because there's so much to share, and I do not want to be held accountable and responsible for not sharing what I need to share with everyone. All right. So you all have depending on when you watching, a wonderful morning, a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, wonderful night. Take care. Peace. Mom. Yes, ma'am. Hey.